This presentation takes a brief look at the costs of quality. Quality is about providing a product or service that meets or exceeds customer expectations. It does not have to be the most expensive in the market, but should be fit for purpose, i.e., it does what it is supposed to do. Quality is one of the key competitive variables. Even low-cost products need to be good quality, i.e. fit for purpose. If a product or service is fit for purpose and meets customer expectations, it can lead to increased customer satisfaction, customer retention, repeat sales, and increases volumes. Management accountants are now placing a greater emphasis on the provision of information relating to the costs of quality, as this can actually help support strategies of cost leadership and differentiation. Improving quality can have an impact on keeping costs lower, thus supporting a cost leadership strategy. Typical areas include reducing the cost of reworking, reduced wastage, or lower warranty costs. Similarly, improved quality can be used to positively reinforce a higher price by increased perceived value of the product, perhaps via faster delivery times or higher levels of customer service. All of these can lead to higher profits and hence return on investment. The costs of quality can be split into two main categories: the costs of conformity, or making sure you are doing it right, and the costs of non-conformity, or the costs of getting it wrong. The costs of conformity are prevention, expenditures incurred to keep quality defects from occurring. Training costs would typically fall within this category. And appraisal, costs incurred in the measurement and analysis of data to find out if the products and services actually conform to the specification. Inspection costs are a typical example of these. The costs of non-conformity are split into internal and external failure costs. Internal failure costs are failures that occur before the customer receives the product or service, and external failure costs occur after the customer has received the product or service. The easy way to remember this is perhaps to think that with internal costs, the customer is not aware, as the problem was fixed before they got the product. But with external failure, the customer is aware of the defect. In fact, it is often the customer that notices and reports the defect. It is possible to manage these costs. For example, using statistical sampling for inspection can reduce the appraisal costs. But it's also possible to adopt policies that trade one off against the other. For example, if investing heavily in training and inspection, there should be less likelihood of failures occurring, reducing the costs of external and internal failures. It may even be that by adopting a policy of product replacement without question can reduce the need for high inspection rates if the product is one that customers do not expect to last forever, as they then tend to talk about the fact that it was replaced without question rather than the fact that the product broke in the first place. However, this does mean that monitoring the costs under each category is important to see whether the trade-off is beneficial. A typical cost of quality report might show the various cost headings comparing 2 or more years and the percentage change. It is obviously possible to set budgets and targets for these costs, such as reducing the cost of quality by X% per year, or ensuring that they are contained within certain limits. Notice that supplier evaluation is included within prevention, and supplier monitoring is within appraisal costs. So it's not just internal costs, it's external factors as well that we should be monitoring. Also, the cost of customer surveys is an appraisal cost, as surveying customers does not happen for no money. It actually incurs a cost to gather customer feedback and to analyse it and to deal with it. In theory, we could argue that failure costs should be zero, or at least as low as possible, but in reality, and depending on the nature of the processes, they will occur. Note that external failure costs can result in a loss of customer satisfaction and resulting a loss of goodwill, which might impact on future sales. It is often said that if you like something, on average you tell 3 people, but if you don't like something, on average you tell 11. So failure costs could result in lost sales, with the cost being the lost contribution. This video is part of a series of short videos that explain specific aspects of the strategic management framework and cover some of the strategy models that can be used in the analysis, formulation, implementation and review and control of strategy, and the role of the management accountant. This presentation is provided as part of the support materials for the book Management Accounting in Support of Strategy by Graham S. Pitcher and published by Business Expert Press.